Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is MacJagSwag. Today's video is going to be another one of those DIY upcycle reupholster type videos. Today's video is me reupholstering this BMW E60 M5 steering wheel. I'll go ahead and link Brandon's page down below so you guys can go ahead and check him out. And he purchased this package. It has everything that you need in it for the steering wheel. He asked me if I would do it for him. I said, duh. And so we're going to go ahead and show you everything that comes in this. You get the wrap itself. This one has the BMW colors on it, the stripes, and a little bit of the leather. It's got a really nice shine to it. I really like it. And so it's already a little stretched out. That's because I've already put it on the steering wheel several times. It also comes here with the 3 threads. This has all the colors of the BMW logo, I guess. And along with that, it does come with this double-sided sticky tape. I use the double-sided sticky tape, but realistically, I don't think that it really matters. I'm not quite sure if it makes that much of a difference. It comes with this little finger protection thingy. I didn't really use it because I do have fingers of steel. Sewing mom here. You guys know I have calluses on my fingers from sewing. I also got the instructions that comes with it, which is very critical for somebody who knows nothing about cars, so I highly suggest reading it. It also comes with a needle that is perfect sizing for the thread, very strong, sturdy to go through that leather if it needs to. So now I'm going to go ahead and just open up the box. I'm going to grab out that wrap, and this is when you're going to want probably someone to help you out because it is very hard to put on. You're going to first start with the top. You're going to make sure that you have it lined up directly in the center, and you're going to stretch as much of it as you can over. This is, again, when you are going to want someone else to get you some help here because it was very difficult to do one person. And if you don't have that on correctly, it's very hard to move when it's already on there. That's why it's very critical for you to make sure that you do have that stripe lined up directly in the center. It's going to make your job very, very easy when it does come to moving that stuff. So you see here that I did have a little bit of spacing issue right there, so I'm just going to pull and tug until I get down to the correct sizing. Everything's kind of perfectly lined up because that's very important here. You want to make sure that you have everything lined up before you do any of the taping, any of the sewing, any of anything. You want to first make sure that it is perfectly lined up. You can see that, again, I'm not lined up in this spot. I'm going to pull forward. I'm going to keep tugging. The same old, same old. We're getting closer, so you're going to go ahead and, again, keep tugging and pulling. It's very important that you get this all perfectly lined up and make sure that everything is perfectly straight, perfectly even, perfectly spaced, because it's going to make your job so much easier when it does come down to the sewing. And so here you see that I'm trying to just make sure that I have the wrap centered when it comes to that spacing. The instructions does say not to take off the original leather, so that's why you can see here that the original leather is still there. Now you're going to go ahead and take out your sticky tape. You're going to make sure that your edge of your wrap is touching the edge of where the original thread is, and then you're going to stick down some sticky tape. You do want to make sure that the sticky tape is not going to be visible when you're putting the fold over, and so you'll see here that I just matched up that to make sure that you can't see the sticky tape. And I'm going to continue putting sticky tape down. There we go. We've got our perfectly lined up sticky tape, and then you're going to want to do that all the way around. So you're going to do it in the majority of the spots that are kind of the biggest and bulkiest so that it holds it down. Don't worry about going too ham on the sticky tape. You just want to have it in the basic vicinities, the basic spots, I guess. So there we are. We have the main spots. So now you're going to take your thread. You want to make sure that you have 3 times the length. That's going to be very important in here because you don't want to have not enough thread and at the end have to either add thread because then you're going to have a little bit of a bulk there. It's not going to look nearly as nice. So you do want to make sure that you have the 3 times the length. You can always cut off the excess at the end. So make sure that you do have a knot tied at the very end so that when you're pulling your thread through, it doesn't just come completely through. You're going to first start off in the first hole on each side. You're just going to pull through. You're going to push that through. You're going to pull it. You're going to make sure it's nice and tight because that's going to be the start of your stitching. All right, perfect. And so now we're going to go ahead and find the third stitch away from that very first stitch that we started in. So you're going to count 3 stitchings up. You aren't going to go directly through that stitch. You're going to go underneath the stitch and kind of pull through, because you're not going to need to go through that leather. That's only when you start and end. So you're going to go through the bottom of that stitch. You're going to pull her extra tight as you can, and then you're going to flip through that hole and go again to the other side and do the same thing. You're going to do 3 stitchings above the original first stitch. So there's my first stitch. You're going to go 3 stitchings up. You're going to push through the bottom, pull up, and then pull tight. This was extremely difficult because you want to make sure that you're keeping your stitching tight. You don't want to kind of do it loosely and pull towards the end, because that's when you could snap your line, and you don't want to do that. So again, 3 stitches up, you're going to pull tight, you're going to tuck under, and you're going to keep pulling. And you're going to continue this all the way down until you get to your very end. And that is going to be your very first color. Just like this, this is what you should end up when you're done with the very first color. And then you're going to do the same thing with all 3 colors. I didn't bother filming all 3 because I did do some of this at work. It is a very time-consuming process, so you want to make sure that you have time to do it, or, you know, bring it with you to work or something, because that's what I had to do. So this is what the end stitching looks like. You can see the original thread underneath, but realistically, it doesn't look too bad. Brandon actually thinks that we should just go ahead and take off the original leather. So I might repeat this process and do the original leather taken off, but realistically, this is what we've got so far. So thank you guys so much for watching. Here's the finished product. The wrap was added, as well as the brake and shift boot. If you guys like this video and you guys want to see more of this, go ahead and like and subscribe, and thank you guys so much for watching.